The moment the red light blinked on in the studio, everyone knew the industry's standard playbook was about to be shredded by a single voice. In tonight's top entertainment report, we're peeling back the layers on one of the most polarizing moments in recent television history. The night Matty Juniosa didn't just audition, he staged a takeover. On the surface, it looked like a standard talent search, but the atmosphere in that room was anything but typical. When Matty took his position, there was a palpable shift, a silence so heavy you could hear a pin drop before the first note even escaped his lips. Our sources from inside the production confirm that the tension wasn't just for the cameras. Behind the scenes, the staff was already whispering about a contestant who refused to follow the humble beginner script. He didn't come to be discovered, he came to be acknowledged, and that confidence immediately put the judging panel on edge. As he began to sing, the air in the room seemed to vanish. It wasn't just a vocal performance, it was a psychological confrontation that forced every expert at the table to question their own criteria for what makes a star. The initial shock wasn't just about the range or the power, it was about the fact that he was breaking the pop star mold in real time, refusing to simplify his art for a mainstream palette. This wasn't a standard audition. It was the start of a cultural firestorm that would soon leave the judges questioning everything they thought they knew about the next big thing. While the audience was cheering, a civil war was brewing at the judges' table that threatened to halt the entire production. The technical debate that followed Matty's performance was unlike anything we've seen in years of scouting talent. We're looking at a fundamental clash between traditional pop sensibilities and high-art theatricality. Our reports indicate that the panel was fundamentally fractured, with some members praising his Broadway-ready precision while others claimed his style was too much for the current charts. This wasn't just a polite disagreement, it was a heated exchange that forced the cameras to keep rolling long after the song ended. Critics at the table were fixated on his vibrato and dramatic flair, suggesting it was excessive, but our analysis suggests this was actually a coded fear of a talent they couldn't easily package. This theatrical label became a point of major controversy, with fans arguing that the judges were trying to dim a light that was simply too bright for their narrow definitions. The friction became so intense that rumors of a walk-off by one of the judges started circulating in the industry. It raises the question, is the industry looking for unique artists or are they just looking for clay they can mold? Matty's refusal to tone it down was a direct challenge to the gatekeepers, and the fallout from this specific argument would go on to define the rest of the season's narrative, proving that sometimes, the biggest obstacle to a career isn't a lack of talent but a surplus of it. Behind the glamour of the stage lights, Matty was fighting a private battle for survival that made every note a matter of life or death. New details have surfaced regarding the immense personal pressure Matty was under during his rise to fame. While viewers saw a confident performer, our investigative team has looked into the high-stakes reality of his home life. Matty was carrying the weight of being a primary provider, a fact that added a desperate, electric energy to his stage presence. In the world of higher-tension news, this is the missing link that explains why he performed with such ferocity. Every yes from a judge wasn't just a step toward a trophy, it was a potential solution to financial burdens that most people his age never have to face. This wasn't just about a dream, it was about a lifeline. This all-or-nothing mentality is what made his performances so magnetic to the public, yet so aggressive to the judges. When he stood on that stage, he wasn't just singing for a contract, he was singing for his family's security. This revelation adds a tragic layer to the critiques he received about being too dramatic. How can you not be dramatic when your entire future is hanging by a thread in front of 4 people with a buzzer? This underlying tension created a shocking level of authenticity that resonated with millions, turning a simple singing competition into a high-stakes documentary of human resilience and the crushing weight of expectation. The studio walls couldn't contain the explosion, as the digital world rose up in a shocking display of defiance against the experts. Once the broadcast hit the airwaves, the Matty phenomenon went global, but not in the way the producers had planned. Our data shows that the social media metrics for his audition surpassed almost every other contestant combined, but the sentiment was focused on a massive revolt against the judging panel. Fans weren't just watching, they were mobilizing, creating a digital uprising that exposed the perceived bias of the show's experts. The narrative quickly shifted from "Can Matty win?" to "Why are the judges trying to stop him?" This viral backlash became a news story in itself, with major outlets reporting on the fan versus critic divide. Our sources indicate that the show's producers were scrambled by the sheer volume of support for Matty's unconventional style. The internet didn't care about technical flaws, they cared about the emotional connection he forged. This moment revealed a massive untold story about the modern music industry. The public is no longer waiting for permission from experts to decide who they love. The controversy actually acted as a catalyst, propelling Matty to a level of fame that a standard, safe contestant could never achieve. It was a revealed truth that the very things the judges hated were the things the world was starving for, proving that in the age of viral clips, the audience is the ultimate judge, jury, and executioner. In a revealed twist that has industry insiders talking, Matty's 2026 independent pivot has sent shockwaves through the major labels. Fast forward to today and the story takes an even more shocking turn. Despite the massive engagement and undeniable talent, Matty has chosen a path that few expected. Our latest reports suggest that he has largely bypassed the traditional major label system, opting instead for a fiercely independent career. Rumors have surfaced regarding accusations of industry gatekeeping, with insiders suggesting that his refusal to be tamed during the competition made major executives hesitant to sign him. However, the move seems to have backfired on the industry. By going independent, Matty has retained total creative control, and his recent projects have seen exposed levels of success without a single cent of corporate backing. He's been vocal on social media, dropping SHT talking points about the manipulative nature of talent contracts and how artists are often pushed toward offing their own creative identities for the sake of a radio hit. This independent surge is being watched closely by other artists who are tired of the robotic nature of modern stardom. Matty isn't just a singer anymore. He's become a symbol of a new era where the shocking truth is that you don't need a label to reach the world. His 2026 trajectory suggests that the gatekeepers who tried to silence him in the audition room are now the ones watching from the sidelines as he builds his own empire. The final verdict is in, and it's a thought-provoking lesson for anyone trying to fit into a box that wasn't built for them. As we close this investigative report, the legacy of Matty Juniosa's audition remains a powerful testament to the power of being too much. He didn't just make the judges lose their minds, he forced an entire industry to look in the mirror. We've seen that the very controversies that once threatened to derail him are now the foundation of his independent success. It leaves us with a revealed reality about the world of entertainment. The people who are told they are too theatrical or too loud are often the only ones worth listening to. Matty's journey from a divided audition room to an independent powerhouse proves that your greatest flaw in the eyes of a critic might be your greatest asset in the eyes of the world. As he continues to release music on his own terms, the shocking truth remains. The judges didn't lose their minds because he was bad, they lost their minds because he was something they couldn't control. And in a world of robotic pop stars, maybe a little bit of madness is exactly what we need. The question isn't whether the industry was ready for Matty. The question is, are we finally ready to stop letting experts tell us what talent looks like? One thing is for certain, the stage is now his and he's finally singing the song he was always meant to sing without anyone else holding the conductor's baton. The moment the red light blinked on in the studio, everyone knew the industry's standard playbook was about to be shredded by a single voice. In tonight's top entertainment report, we're peeling back the layers on one of the most polarizing moments in recent television history. The night Matty Juniosa didn't just audition, he staged a takeover. On the surface, it looked like a standard talent search, but the atmosphere in that room was anything but typical. When Matty took his